Thank you everyone for joining us. We're back now. My name is Christopher Roy. Thank you for all those who are joining for this new time together. I'm one of the board members of the festival, and we are all here for the Hesquiaht Language Action Stories and a Hesquiaht Language Lesson with Hesquiaht O'Rourke. And before we begin, we're going to hear a little bit from Joe Martin, welcoming all of you and our guests and elders from Hesquiaht.
He called you Hesquiaht. He called her as they went out for a little while.
Classes Hesquiaht Kuisnapjes, is Tachjes of Kuisnapjes. We took Maxas Just like to welcome all of you this evening. It's good to see all of you, and good to see you, Uncle Phil. I haven't seen you for ages. My mom's brother, Uncle Phil Lucas. That's my close relative. Really good to see you, Uncle. Cheers.
Hesquiaht, thank you. Over to you.
Ju ahaqlutas shachtul titseqink.
Ju titseqinqart Charlie. Kaashutana swakaashutana supin saakslahqa butisqan na atahapen ha tiqsiqasa hayhishwatha saaksutis hawes ubin Sakhan, not Sakhan, not Atupati, two hot words.
And that Nahamis.
True. Hello to everybody. So good to see everybody. Good to see that we could connect this way through Zoom. Klakko Shaktuth Tik Tikink. Thank you very much. Uklas Natnahamis. Mamach Nekink Amti Carrie Tom. I'm one of the Hesquiaht language learners here tonight. From the Hesquiaht language group. We're all very happy and excited to be here with you tonight. Go to the hosts and the organizers of this wonderful Carving Edge Festival. It's first time being a part of it. But we're very happy to say that we have 4 of our Hesquiaht fluent learners or speakers here tonight, along with their learners. We have Shachtuth and his daughter Tatus. We have Natnahamis and Sitja. We also have Tupat and Chuchka and Chisma and Kleha Aksa. So we're very happy that we're all gathered together tonight. We share our stories later on, personal stories about our language journey. We'll be introducing ourselves using the Hesquiaht language. And I just I've been asked by the elders to let you know that it's a very important way to share our family lineage, where we're from. And we've been able to pass this on for many generations so that others will know how important they are to their family and how important it is a part of our language and culture. So tonight we're going to start with Shachtuth and Tatus, and they will be introducing themselves. Thank you very much. Sure.
You class Shachtuth is Tachjes Hesquiaht. Ahmed not Nanakso Thomas Lucas. Klawische Klamit. Suitsmakne de Catherine Klamit. Kla ook niks not so is John Smith, Glasgow Klamit. Suitsmakne de Cecilia. Or Hockmits no work so Shachtus. His English name was Basit. Shachtus of Klamit Yukla. And Julianne Smith Lucas and my home ex of Hesquiaht Shachtus Yukla Sa. Is Haima Yesat. Sea Serpent Plan. Hadn't not up Chet, Sia Lucas and Julia Lucas. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Jew, Hesquiaht Tattoos, Penelope, English name. Jew.
Jew, Uklas, Tattoos, Quit Seats on Tea. Uklas, Penelope Lucas, Mammasni Keats on Tea. Hesquiaht Soups, Himayasak Soups. Histakshik, Sumas, Ahux, Umiaksu, Katrina, Canary Charlie, Ahux, Nuučaan, Shachtus, Philip Lucas, Ahuknit, Nuučaan Chit, Mummethni, Andrew Kinnaird, Histakshik, Edinburgh, Scotland, Nuučaan, Ahukquint, Nana Nixu, Shachtus, Placide Lucas, Ish Julianne Smith Lucas, Hesquiaht Mit Shachtus, Ihadis Aksupmit, Julianne Chu.
يقني نيوا يقلا يسي سو نعمي صحيح نعمي
Yes. Did you want to what? Do you want me to introduce you?
na suitish
Class Harris Hesquiaht Soups. Declared soups. So like now has Hesquiaht declared Howard. I don't know seconds. استحداث بسكلا هو جرح مطلع سب أكون ننقص Hesquiaht استكشف شاف excuse me شخور the word second my late dad's father his mom my grandmother
3 kilometers, take exit 51 for British Columbia 4 alternate toward Parksville.
got to speak up. I
No, she muted. Oh,
Yeah, they're driving.
And it's from
Captain Jack, my mom, went up in the Is it muted now?
True. Maybe put him on mute for a second. What? True. Uglas not names. Mamachne king tea carry Tom. Kitsanak soups. Hesquiaht soups. Mohatakledak soups. Wohok umiaksu. Barbara Johnson. Kitsanak soup. Wohok Nuwix Quintish Nuwixu. Wayne Sanders. Mamachneat. Woods Hunt Hey Hesquiaht. Mohatakleat. Hesquiaht. Hotweat Mohatakleat. Uhok Ish Umiaksu, Susan Charlson, Kinquashtakam Aksoups, Aksup, Hesquiaht Soup, Uhok Quintish Nuwixu, Hey Hesquiaht, Mamachne Kink Amti Mike Tom Jr. Atla Datmas Wishkoff Stevie, Amihach Kyra. True.
you, Nina. Or you. Huh? Julia and Jutska.
Two part.
But
Is she unmuted? Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Situer. Jutska. Ju. I am a Dixon Cartakia Chris, Julia Lucas class. Is touched with our house accepts. Chris Marks or accept. Two part of class. We met unakshit I'm 1976 years such nakshit how it looks like basic class. I am a Dixon Cartakia like streets or Hockets a check up clan or Hijet that Naksu line is a clan like space. A hard I next start nice quick course that lights from the hard settle nasty. Egypt and next lights come. وكتم صار احتاج اني احتاج الناس جوجت ثوي جيتلس كلي مقصين هو اسد وتسجي تحكو هيتلتنا تلاقيو قاقيو ستيج تشكو that arts building in Tefino him with some mitza ukun tsheko bukitas youth naku kladlit وقمسك سقاب سقيتشيلز داكشت وحتك شت محسب قياتك ويتقنات ننقص ايج مقرن اقحموتك ويتقن احاسن داكشيل ستلي خوتلن وحتك شت هاي هجوتقه اتلاقوي جاش وشاوكلا اتكت حشي ساثي وكلت يقوتات ناكس اقوتات يقحقلس قياتك وكتقس يقحيهم تقس يقس جاسس تقس القاحوسة جانا ستاقتا وتساب هي جوتقان هو آسق تتقشد جو
Two-part. Clear slip maxti in Clayaho Alwa Anet Newa Joe Martin Clauquet
True.
Martin
Martin up now.
Siaks Strutra Hesquiaht Subs Kin Quash Takum Laps or Hawks Ichum Care no Steve Charleston yet Isaac yet Sish zum Asport Alberni his takshit look mit Nana Nexu Jane Little ish Stephen Charleston Senior Hesquiaht Jean Little his takshit mit Ahozat Aksup mit Jean Little Nana Nexak Squakis Amti Chutka Mama Neqet Amti Leila Rorik Anna his Ukops wash Ko Atit Amti Chutka Kapaps wash Ahku Amti Chutka Chutlayaho al Sehel At Suited Cheesema.
Two. Siaks Cheesema. Chachta could look slip maxti. Na tichit sewa. Na ata. Tiqsiqken. Och Mrs. Charles. Hoorteksap ha taheqsa. Ha ulitlux. You qaha quatlux. Och Mrs. Charles. Wikwinchitsals. Wiknana aha mamalne. Histakshit sich. Ahoset had tlah. Shitluas. Oh, it's like how my years had subsist. Tlah 1 month now, maybe. Teach Nani kids. My maternal grandmother on my dad's side. He was from there, so I went there. I'm happy. I've always felt my ties being Hesquiaht, and I'm proud of it and happy to be here. Oh, I look, I had teacher. Ta hamchita yakia ta heksa nana achitwa. Och misuknishal tik tikasa. Chu napatle hatlich tle haksa.
Chu tle haksa. Na oxygen. Chutka. Chut. You should aksu. Who chapters aksu? Bohesha. Boyataksu. Nuučaan aksu. Oh, Kmitsman and Yaxu. Frederick Coots. His Dish. Chapter. Ish Tlauna Jenny Jack, his Dutch Kuyat. Hookmith Nanetsu Art Coots, Ish Rose McCarthy. Yuledach, his Dutch with Yulet. Met Nuučaan, Levi Cook Sr. Met Nanandayaxu, Roy Barney Sr. His Mary Tom, his actually usually. Nexu Kla Phyllis. Met Nuučaan, Andy Amos. Una Skatsa.nice. Kanum Axish Ash. 1995, Ukut Sik Nuučaan Tatna is Mike Ukla. Suquith it's Homius, Lucas family. 2. Jutka, you want me to continue? 2.
yun na siya.
So what I had said was my family history, and that I'm ever so grateful always to this day. From 1995, when I got married, my stepfather raised me from when I was 12. And my birth parents are all Berkeley speakers. Andy was introduced into my life when I was 12, and I learned dancing and stuff from him. And his best friend was Tupat's late husband, Hesquiaht. And so they, at our traditional nuučaan wedding, took my mamashni husband in. And ever since that time, they've always taken really good care of me and my family, because my stepfather passed away 10 years ago. And so to this day, the mamiaksu of the family, Linus, really holds us close, and that's it's really holds us, takes care of my son. And so that's kind of how I wanted to talk a little bit, maybe, you know, a little bit about from 1966, I was born in Hesquiaht. And then when it came time to go to school, I think that my father really didn't want me to go through his experience of the residential school. And so we moved here to Port Alberni. And I went to Maquina Elementary. And the reason that I've just put the pieces together now since that 1972 is that when he went from Hesquiaht to the Alberni Residential School, like all of his 9 siblings and like my mom's 9 siblings, they all had to learn English instead. And he really had a very critical mind about that. He really didn't believe that was correct. And he taught me that from when I was real little in an appropriate way. And so all my life I've sort of just, I guess, kept that in my subconscious mind. And now I have this opportunity to be with Chisma, and we have a lot of fun. And I had a whole pile of other notes in between 1966 to 72, 78, and some of the milestones that I can tick off here. In 2012, I decided that I was going to pay my way to go to Hooksum, so I could spend some time on the land. And because I grew up in a fishing family, always on the boats in the summer, in the spring, I was a deckhand for my dad, and our whole family were all fishermen. And so being there in Ayasuk was really healing in 2012. And then fast forward to 2017, and I started to meet up with Jutka, and then joined the MAP program. And so being in Ayasuk is part of my language journey, because so much of the value that we place on our worldview and is in our language. And there's lots more I could say about that. And So I really value, you know, I want to raise up all the artists who keep part of our culture alive and keep our histories alive and honor our ancestors and our language that we get from people like Tupac and Chisma and Shaktur and Nana Hamies. And, you know, our greatest wish is always just to be good for our grandchildren and our future. And so on my language journey, I get a little bit of a lump in my throat because we have to fight so hard and to keep it. And Hesquiaht has given us a lot of joy in our learning. So I really, really love that part, learning with the elders. It's so much fun compared to any other kind of learning I've ever done. And Natneaksu was plus apis nas. I love to spend the day with the grandparents. And umuk shiksu, never give up. True.
Yeah.
True.
Your turn.
Me?
Language journey. Hawaii.
Hawaii. When I was about 6 years old, I had to start school, grade 1. I always remember my older sisters and brother bringing me, and the only English word I knew was yeah. Anything they asked me, yeah. That's all I knew. I used to look at people wondering, why are they talking funny? I couldn't understand them. And finally, time went by and I started to realize it was a different language. And all my sisters, there's 16 of us, and these guys all went to residential school. And the ones behind me went, but my dad wouldn't let me go. He used to always ask me to help him making a canoe, making paddles. And he'd always tell me, you're never going to residential school. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what it was. I just say, okay. So when we'd see this DIA, Department of Indian Affairs boat going by, there's a big white boat come in. My dad would tell me in Indian, Chachi, Hapshit, side go. We had a little tree there behind our house, a little hollow inside it, and I'd go in there and wait. And he'd call me, oh, come on home now, they're gone. He was hiding me from them. And I wanted to go to school so bad. But I learned on my own. I studied hard, worked hard. I even was, this guy asked me one time, where did you go to university? And I looked at him, I said, University of Ahausen. And he goes, oh. Because I love to speak our language. I love to teach it and make a game out of it to learn, eh? There was a lady trying to learn how to tell me that her baby had a cut on the head. She says, I'm never going to learn that, never going to learn. So I took her doll baby and I said, look at your baby and say, like you're sneezing, say, achoo. And her baby had a bandage on her head and say, achoo, aksnat yakak. Her baby had a cut on the head and I made it fun so that she'd learn like a sneeze, achoo. And you can learn all kinds of ways that way, like how to learn to say the word Q. I'm always trying to teach Farina. You push your tongue down with your finger and say the word cup, ka, katsa. Quinny, all kinds of words like that are hard to say, but you know, you put your mind to it, you can. And we learned the English language. What? What? Ah. Yeah, it's been fun learning. I love seeing you guys. Look forward to our gatherings. Chew. Unapatli.
Tum, 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 tum.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Chisma. Again, I'm Tutka, and my role in taking my English speaking turn is to talk about a little bit about history. So I want to start with a very precious saying that our elders hold close. Is Hesquiaht. That saying means that we're ancient and we continue on in the ways of our Hesquiaht ancestors. Hesquiaht. And so this is the way we gather twice a week. Monday and Wednesday nights, we gather with about this many people, and we listen to more elders than this, although some of our elders are busy being movie stars. Right now, we do have our other rock star elders here tonight to share, and it's really great. So I want you to imagine, close your eyes and imagine our Hesquiaht ancestors here transforming through history on this land and this seascape since the beginning of time, and speaking this powerful language called Hesquiaht, conveying all their understandings of this world, shaping their lives and their histories along with this language called Hesquiaht. And with that thought in mind, I'm going to talk a little bit about the very, very recent history of language revitalization, revitalizing Hesquiaht. So I'm going to start with a date here, 1930. So in 1930, we're already well into the residential school era, and our 12 fluent speakers that we have in Hesquiaht, now we have 13 because Chisma joined us. They were all born between 1930 and 1947. So when I say fluent speaker, I mean they were born into a fluent Hesquiaht speaking home, and their community was Hesquiaht speaking. So their environment was Hesquiaht language before they got taken away to school. And then next, when the next date we come to is 1947 to 1966. So in this period of time, that is when English became a lot more prevalent in Hesquiahts being born into Hesquiaht speaking households. And so people born in that time period make up who we have now as semi-fluent or silent speakers of Hesquiaht language, meaning they got a good enough amount of Hesquiaht language exposure in their household growing up and in their outer community there, that they have a good understanding of the language, but they don't speak it fluently. Around this time in the late 60s and the 70s, that's when the Hesquiaht Cultural Committee recruited the people at the RBCM archives in Victoria to work with them to record our Hesquiaht audio and take videos and protect our sites from all of the pillaging and just the rampaging of the grave robbing really of our territories. So they teamed up with them and started to save a lot of the teachings that the elders had, and that's what we have to work with today, and that's what we have. It's a really precious gift to us that we get to use those items they created in our Monday and Wednesday classes and review those things and bring it back into our lives. So now we're getting into the 70s. This is when our Hesquiaht band opened its community school in the late 70s, and the Christie School, which a few of the people who are on this call went to that school. It closed in 1983, and shortly after all of the community band schools were allowed to open up. So I started my schooling in Hot Springs Cove at the Hesquiaht School in 1985, and I got half-hour day of language and culture with Tupat, who is here today, and was just amazing rock star of a teacher. She made it fun. What we didn't realize at that time was that we were the first generation of people we're first generation of kids to be learning Hesquiaht language in school. And we were the first generation of kids to be allowed to be raised in our homes in 100 years with our parents. And so it was a century of being raised over at Christie by the religious people that ran there. And so, as I say, we were raised in our homes, but by that time, English was so prevalent that English was the main language of the household, the main language of the community. So if you can imagine growing up as a Hesquiaht person back in that time period, you are coming to your whole understanding of the world through thinking about it in the English language, right? However, there's still lots of knowledge. Like I said, the people born up to 66 are semi-fluent or silent speakers, right? So there's a lot of cultural knowledge there and a lot of understanding that needs to be trained back into speech again. So none of our generation grew up to be fluent speakers of Hesquiaht language. We didn't have access to the language and the surroundings to do that. So now we're coming to 2010. Since 2010, I've been trying to learn to speak Hesquiaht language. And since 2010, I've been spending thousands of hours every year just trying to learn to be a speaker of the language and volunteering to try to make language things happen with the community. So what happened in 2010 was that our late Lawrence Paul, I asked him if he would teach me to be a speaker, and he did accept. And then he also recruited his niece Angela Gallegos on board to help as well. So I spent 3 years doing mentor apprentice with the two of them at Hot Springs Cove, and they were really kind and just really giving of their time, and really good teachers, just really like the epitome of kindness when you think of somebody who's going to teach you. So they taught me so much about ways to look at the world and the ways to speak about our ancestry. So I became a beginning speaker of the language in 2010, but that was 2010. Now it's 2021, and we have dozens of beginning speakers of Hesquiaht now. And what's really interesting about it is that we're doing it online, and we are hearing the voices of our elders speaking to us on Zoom, and then as a consequence, we're broadcasting it to our house, and there's all sorts of people in our houses off screen that are listening to it too. So we're getting this opportunity where we get to have this knowledge in our community again. It's in the air. That's what we want. Like we're going to keep it in the air for hundreds and thousands of more years, right? And so the movement is going really well, and the Zoom platform is helping us to broadcast that language out. And there's dozens of people just echoing our fluent speakers online in the classes because they're really good personalities, and they're good at teaching. So we have a lot of off-screen speakers that we hear sometimes, and that makes us happy too. And tons of people on screen as well who are really committed. So just like our ancestry, you all are going to keep speaking it into the future, and you're going to keep our ancestry continuing. We will continue in the way of our ancestors, and will always be speaking Hesquiaht. What?
We got the show that hope I do
Ah, true. A hard suited two-part.
True. هاي مسقاي تكيهين يقام الناس أنك ووايك ومتشاتل ووايك قاك تسقي حين. Churches that had 10 commandments, we had 16 teachings in nuučaan, and I will use one of them. I say to our children, if you correct a child that's not your child, they'll say you're not my mom, but that's not our teaching in nuučaan. We at Hesquiaht, don't get offended if someone says you're doing something wrong. They don't do that. They're doing it because they care for you. They don't want to see you do anything wrong. They want to make sure you do it right. Don't get offended if they say that to you. And when I heard Kelly talking, she was talking about kindness. Only person that's afraid to ask for help or any kind is a person that's unkind. I just used that phrase 2 weeks ago. Somebody was saying that they were moving her daughter's house, moving from one place to another, just her and her daughter. Just my back is really sore. Why didn't you ask your nephews for help? I said to her. I told her this phrase. Only person that's afraid to ask for help is a person that's unkind. I didn't know that. She said I could have done it and phoned my nephews. But that's our teaching, eh? And the other word I like to use is that I know it's like I need when the kids start fighting. The only thing that fights like that is dogs. They'll look at me like, yeah, that's right. You watch a dog, they fight for nothing, just territorial. You children don't have to behave like them. You got a thinking mind there. And the other one, truthfully, 1980 was when I first started in Hot Springs, when I had to move out of Port Alberni. I did not want my children to go to residential school. That's why we moved out of Hot Springs to move to Port Alberni. None of my children went to residential school because I didn't want them to go there. So all my children are raised up in Port Alberni, but at the same time, they're raised up with singing, dancing, because Linus is already preened when he was young, when he was just a baby. I used to take him in the morning, wrap him up. So I did sit by the stove with him and sing to him. In fact, when I first brought my son home to a house, a lot of people were at my dad's house, Ims's house. And every one of them took him and talked to him. We got this weird hair up, and they were telling all these things in our language to him. So that's what happened to my son, raised up in a house. He talks about the difference between being raised in a house and having to move to Hot Springs to his father's family, who were all raised up in residential school. Difference he's seen with them and my family. So the residential school really done us a lot of harm, but we don't have to blame them. We can move ahead without them now, eh?
Okay.
We're our own boss now. We're good. Hi, Norma. I just want to say Norma. I haven't seen you for a while, Norma. I think it's about what I like to do. I've been teaching language for such a long time that I put a smile on my face when I hear them talking. One of them, a new one I hear now is my nephew here, who's sitting here. And a lot of them really feel proud when they get traditional names because it's a full meaning. Because Alec Amy said, Tamohak means you're without a traditional name, native name from your family. We don't want any of our children to be that way. I'll try to make sure the child, this person that asks their name, find out what the person is like or what family ties they have. So that's how I get the names for them. Joe, what? I don't want to be like that mask. His tongue was like a spoon. Joe. Nahmez atlayt xew sewad tsuj. Na asish sutil.
You turn that down, please. Hesquiaht Language Ajax Quackcoat Lahat God half I am high chitty. Clients come. Utsachitan siyoqar residential. Lisa. Wik up squeaks utsachit. Witsik mamas nika. Witsik. I am Hawaii. Didn't understand English when I went to Christie. And I am he's my mama's nakshit. That's a shilky. I hope us al quacoto. Mush had to go. Pulling yet at two was all yet at two. Oh, Michael. We kids map. Had map of Tassa. Na at the hike. At the Kishnunu. At the cold Tosa. Ukla Michael. Ukla Eha. I can solve out with the sense I am heighted. Or not on maybe yesterday something came up, so I can't really say anything. You'll have to excuse me right now. Sure. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got slim. Yeah. True.
True. Air hugs. Nahamis. But as you might notice, my name is Nahamis as well. And I got that name back in 2005. We were at one of late Jerry Jack's potlatches. And late Hesquiaht was there. And gave some people some names, and I was one of them. And Nahamis wanted to share her name with Sitya, which is very important to me. I've had that name since then. But I'm Gitsan. Born Gitsan, always will be. But I'm married into the Hesquiaht nation through my husband, Hesquiaht. We've been together almost 29 years now, so it's been a little bit of a while. But I've always felt a part of the Hesquiaht group, Mohataklet. And I've known Nahamis for the 29 years almost. And so we have 2 kids together, and we haven't been able to teach ourselves the language. I haven't been able to teach my kids just a little bit of Gitsan. And I hear my husband and our families interact with each other with some of the language. And I've caught on to it from then. And my husband told me a lot that he was raised around just fluent speakers. So he's considered to be a silent speaker today. I said, it'll come back to you. Eventually it'll come back to you. So we've been participating in as much of the language classes or get-togethers that we can. And we started at UVic with Chuchka, our late Auntie Ruth, Tom, and Fran Tachiapshit, which we really value being able to attend here in Victoria. So it's just different that since the communities have been dispersed and had to live in different parts of the island, and we're always together. But it's I'm so happy that we've had this opportunity to be like using technology, so Zoom meetings, that we get to see people from, California, Washington, all over. It's been a great opportunity, and learning with each other is just, it's just awesome. So I started the MAP program about 3 years ago with nuučaan. I applied for it, and we've just finished the 3 years. But we were able to do, shop together, visit together, to do a lot. I learned a lot of ways to learn about how to pray. A lot about the nuučaan, the house of my husband's, that I'll be able to pass on to our children and our future grandchildren, which we're waiting for. But it's been a great experience. I really love it. Even though our MAP program might have ended, and we're still going to continue to move forward and keep learning as much as we can every day. I also just appreciate all of our elders, that they share their knowledge with us as well. It's been a great experience, and I just had great opportunities. We were fortunate enough to go to Isaac last, was it June 2019, and to relate the words to the land. We were able to, at the time, to harvest some cedar right in Tiamat, and that's my husband's part of his hahutli. So that was just it was such a special feeling to be able to go there, and Levi Martin was with us at the time and helped us with learning about medicines, and same with Uncle Steve, but parts of the land, and Auntie Karen. And then we were at the international conference after that, which was really good too. Get to see how people connect with each other and show different ways of working towards promoting language and revitalizing it, which is great to see people working around the world. We're not the only ones doing it. But yeah, so I really appreciate all the help. I really appreciate everyone's help, and thank you to everybody for inviting us today. True.
nuučaan matmas class shaktus. Such Mitskakaus Christie School, 1952 to 1959. I graduated with honors. I started back last year when my sister Fran told me about the gatherings. February 2020. We accent, I guess that's February. She told me. She said, Gather gathering. Hesquiaht Language well meet. But we got stopped because of the COVID language issues. Miss March 2020, I think it was. Then we started on Zoom. No, July and August. It comes. That's when sockeye start coming up the rivers, I guess. Mm, yeah, and we went through that all summer. And my daughter has really helped me. Tattoos, really good at the technician logging in for me. In September, we started the classes. I don't know if it's age or whatever. Classes for the elder and students, plus our map hours. We are helping each other. Hope it's staff new shook. He shook. Echum Tachsikan Hoopy. She knows the fonts. I know the sounds and the language, how to say it. I'm trying to teach her, or I am teaching her. It's been really challenging on Zoom, and we are still learning. And I'm going to I'm going to ask some questions to my daughter in my own tongue. Wastik tattoos.
Yatsuk ox. I'm gonna go for a walk.
Achaklik.
Uklas Tattoos. Uklas Tattoos. My name is Tattoos.
Achakuk Echum.
Ohooks are Echum. Shachtul. Oh ish. Katrina.
Tako of Bishuk.
Jew. I'll share how I started in the language. Actually, it all started from when I presented a business proposal to the Owl's Path Canada Foundation, because they help Indigenous people with their businesses. And my business involved the language. So naturally, I was like, I don't know anything about the language, so I have to learn it so I can use it in my business. So I started September of 2019. I started doing it with the East Barclay dialect at North Island College. And then that year following, I started doing language with my dad. I started attending language programs in my own dialect, Central, back in February of 2020. I was amazed to find out that my dad was considered a fluent speaker. I didn't know that before February 2020. Like I knew he spoke, I just didn't know he was fluent. I feel like the mentor apprenticeship program has not only helped me improve my language skills, but it's brought me and my dad closer together. We spend like 5 days a week to 7 days a week together, pretty much together all the time. I feel like my language has improved way better than compared to if I didn't have a mentor. Like the other day, me and my dad were at the Harbor Key, and I was like, "You eat cookish," and I normally have to ask him first, "How do you say it's really windy?" But I knew this time, and I could just feel like the happiness between us both that I remembered, and I didn't have to ask, how do you say this? And I think it's just all about repetition, practice, practice, practice. I don't know how many times I had to ask, how do you say it's really windy? Just like saying shark tooth. I used to say shark tooth. Now I can say it properly, shark tooth. We certainly did a lot over this past year or so. Even with the pandemic, we found ways around it. I'm looking forward to doing classes in person now. Then later on, after summer classes in 2020, so September 2020, I got the email from Chutska saying me and my dad were approved for the mentor apprenticeship program, and we've been doing language 5 days a week ever since. Chump, I ho tixia hi Hesquiaht Klecko Hawiaxish Sika Chew.
You guys are real cute. It's awesome to hear you. It's really great. Awesome. All of the people who shared their stories here were involved in that mentor apprentice program. Some of us were referring to it shorthand as MAP, Mentor Apprentice Program. Mentor Apprentice Program is a one-on-one fluent speaker to learner program where you have to spend around about 300 hours per program year doing one-on-one language practice with your mentor. And it has created speakers all over BC. There's been Tlaokuiad people successful at it, learning from Levi for a few years there now in your area. And there's lots of Hesquiaht bringing back speech, and it's really, really brings a lot of hope to people to hear our younger people speaking again. It really makes you feel good, hey? But for a while, Roman has had a hand up for a question. We'll take a question before we go into a language lesson. Do you remember your question? Tlaquaquila?
It's not a question, if you don't mind. I used to carve, and I am an artist, and I want to make the comment tonight that from the English, if anyone's ever heard the name Anais Nin, she said, "We do not see things as they are, we see them as we are." And when you can unlock your brain to a new language, imagine how much your world can grow if you're an artist that's carving, if you're an artist that's sculpting, if you're an artist that's painting. What can the world look like if you open your brain to another language and see another world altogether right in front of you? That's all I wanted to say. Chew.
Gwachwait, a hard Joe.
See ya.
So
Like, when I was growing up, I was very little. It was only in our language at home. My grandparents from my father were there, and quite often my Uncle Phil's parents would come over. And then other extended members of our family would come, my mom's family, like Joe Smith would come over. That was my grandmother's brother. Hesquiaht. And it was all in our language. I remember it. I was very young when I first went to school over at Hesquiaht. Day school just started. And that's when I began to speak English and Latin. As you all know, it was for the damn church. My Uncle Phil is real unsophisticated. But anyways, you know, I grew up here. I was with over there at Hesquiaht, and I did go to Hesquiaht a couple times with my mom when I was very young. Beautiful there. It's still really beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful parts of Clackett Sound. My memory of these things of growing up here and my own education of myself, you know, having learned to speak English and Latin. Of course, I also became fluent in French and learned to speak German. So one of the things that I find quite difficult about relearning our language, although I do understand when I hear you all speaking in our language. This is the only time I hear it, is at these places when we're practicing this. I traveled to Tokyo also, and that was totally in Japanese. And so, you know, of course you're there, you'll learn a little bit from that. But when I was in Quebec, it was totally immersed in French. When I was in Germany, it was totally immersed in German. So one of the things that I really would love to see one day is that we just go in a whole room where nobody speaks any English and nobody translates from Hesquiaht to English. I think that's going to be a really huge help. It would be for me anyways, to be able to hear this and to be immersed in that every day. Because that's how it was when I was little. It was only in our language at home until I went to that doggone school. You know, I feel that back in the former days, our people did have a very different education system. And I got a little bit of that from my father and my grandparents. Both of my grandfathers, nuučaan and Placide, they were both canoe builders. And they inspired me. And, you know, that's one of the things that I love to do is making canoes, because you know what it is? It's our connection to the land, our land. I hear people using the word often, very, very often, our reserves. That doesn't belong in our vocabulary. It does not belong in our vocabulary. It does not belong in our hupokunum either of our people. Our hot wheel, our treasure boxes, our songs and dances, because that's not where it started from. It came from the Indian Act. I like to talk about art in a way that when we look at all of those crests and things that we do use, you know, basically how I feel about those things, you know, it's the teaching that I received as I'm growing up here was about the teachings of natural law that we all live under. All of us live under it. And that's how we all got here. Our parents got together. And anyways, we're still living under that. And certainly when the Europeans first arrived, certainly we could not read any of that stuff that's on the screen. We were illiterate. But so were they when they'd seen, you know, our totem poles. Totem poles that used to be in front of every village. And how I see those things is like, it is our constitution. The teachings of our people, teachings of natural laws. The very first teachings about respect first. respect of ourselves. And that a teaching that began as soon as their mothers conceived our lives. And, you know, that's been disrupted. It's a huge disruption that we have had. And I'm sorry I have to speak in this language to you like this. But I think that quite often, you know, and I can speak our language, but one of the things that really bugs me is that a long time ago, when I was very young, that people used to laugh at me for speaking it. And it still bothers me today. And I want to say thank you to Hesquiaht for leading these programs, and you know, all of the other people that are here, Tupac and your sister Patty, and you know, all of you that are here, that are sharing as my Uncle Phil. I'm so happy to see you, Uncle. I miss you.
You.
I miss all of my uncles and my aunts. I don't see them enough. And I hope that we can see each other more soon. We need each other's medicine, and that's what it is. We have faced many difficult things in the recent past, including, you know, just a couple of days ago with passing of late Rita Curley and Robbie Diop, Uncle Phil. We're all related with that fellow. Yeah, and certainly many other ugly things that have happened in our communities over the past few years. And certainly we're always running down the road or walking down the road of this PTSD. We've constantly had that from all the traumas that we have had to face in the last whiles, which makes it very difficult for us to move forward. I think we've been having a death every 10 days in the nuučaan communities, if not more than that recently. And it's very difficult. So I have to go tomorrow morning to stand beside the grave with some of our elders over there at Tayustani Club. Tayustani. People anglicize it because it's written with English phonetics, call it Taihistanis. It's Tayustani. Why Tayustani?
Tayustani.
And anyway, that's where I'll be tomorrow, 10 o'clock till around maybe noon or 1 o'clock or something. And I will not be online with you. I think Christopher is going to come in the morning and then maybe open up with you. But I will be here later or as soon as I can after that. Because I find that these kind of programs like doing this thing here is a very important thing, you know, and certainly getting inspiration from many different peoples, our peoples, you know, including other artists around. Robin, Rorik, thank you so much for doing the fine work that you do and sharing what you have shared with me in the past. I really do appreciate that. And I learned from you as well. And that is what I appreciate the most. True.
True. It's Joe. If you guys all know Joe's work style, he'll be like, I'm going to make a canoe. And then he'll work on it almost 24 hours a day, every day, all the time, sleep very little. That's like how our elders are, our fluent speakers. They're like, okay, we're going to do language today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. And then people show up every time. It's pretty amazing. We got good teachings, and it comes through with all of our teachers and the people we hold high. Thank you, Joe.
Oh.
Let's go into our language lesson. Hey, we're gonna have our fluent speakers speak some words here. I'm gonna share screen here.
Hesquiaht, I just want to point out there is a message in the chat box for you if you just want to.
Oh, okay.
Open for a moment.
Thank you. Just check that. Oh yeah, Christine, do you have the clip ready now?
Yeah, my daughter Rose does there, and my mom is here too, June.
Okay, let's see if we can make you a co-host. Oh, I cannot. To share?
For Rose.
Yes,
Okay.
that's me over here, please. Thank you.
Just in case the elders didn't maybe read that, my mom has a name that late Granny Louise McCarthy gave to her, but we don't know what she's saying in this video that my mom's taking. And so we're just wondering if you could listen to it and maybe tell what it says. And the timing was so crazy. My daughter, out of the blue, I think creator, family, whatever, got her to listen to it. It was 2 days after we'd taken the language test with the Geneva Tucci, and we all passed. She passed, mom passed with flying colors, and just riding high, hey. And they were talking about how important it was to get us names, and we all don't have names. And here mom had a name, but she'd forgotten that this was gifted to her. So yeah, my daughter found this like 2 days after mom took the test.
So would you like to just play the audio, or would you like to share your screen? Because we can make you a co-host.
If I could share my screen, that would be excellent. Thank you.
Brianne, can you make Rose a co-host?
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
That's my baby, Rose. Hey, Verena.
No, I want to talk a little bit. June McCarthy's name is Hesquiaht. It was her mother's name, so she's holding that the name Hesquiaht is her name, June McCarthy. Thank you.
Any thoughts?
Oh, there you go.
I see Tupat just asking her to unmute. Hesquiaht.
Something on the roof, or?
Verena's gonna unmute Tupat here.
Sorry, we were going on and on here on mute. Sorry about that. Okay.
Takis means she'll always have it regardless of what happens. What happens? Takis means she'll always have. Aksa means she's a female, right?
What will she always have?
Takisa Aksa, she'll always have that position. You said her name June or Christine? Which one is she talking about?
June.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, for me.
Ellen McCarthy's.
Alex McCarthy and Louise. Louise gave it to her.
I know that she was.
Oh, it was Adeline.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was Louise was with Joe Tom, and they had my mom Adeline and Ruth Tom to make the connection here.
Hesquiaht, like Takas.
Takas.
Hesquiaht. Okay.
Takisa Aksa.
No, it's this kind of a C, not this kind. Yeah. Yeah. What?
No, I'm not. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, she wrote it down for her.
Yeah.
Lista Aqsa. Oh.
Notice it. Okay, that's what I mean to use in the sentence.
Like the college.
So we opted to go with some words that are using English sounds because we have lots of sounds that English doesn't have in our language. So first we will teach a small group of words that use English sounds, and then we'll teach a few that have some of our Hesquiaht sounds in there as well. Here we go with chu, shachtush. Oh, and we'll ask our learners to, of course, you're on mute. Just repeat after each fluent speaker and try to copy exactly the way they pronounce it. Chu, shachtush.
Chu. Chu. Chu.
Are we saying it too, Chutska? Or Chu?
It's like it's over, Chu. نعم yes.
Chu. Chu.
نعم يا سانا.
Junior.
Chu. Chu.
I have a question about that word. I've heard in one of the educational videos, Vicki Wells was using it when she came online. She'd say, "True, I'm Vicki Wells." Do you use that expression when you're saying hello to and goodbye?
Pretty well,
Let's
hey?
go. Okay, let's go.
Cut.
Under the sink for now, and then I'll hang it up for my And not there, Dan. It's gonna get all wet on the floor. Put it in the top. We're gonna rinse off, and then I'm gonna go get a list. Need to mute for a second, miss.
There we go. But two pot. Oh, he's chisma. Chu why?
Chu, why? Chu.
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 Joe.
Okay.
Way.
That's a nice one to lead it into this one. Shachtush.
What? Chukwa. And now Hamid.
What? Chukwa. Chikwa. Chikwa. Chikwa.
Chukwa.
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 Chukwa. So our long letters here, our long vowels. When you see it doubled up like that, it means you can say it as long as you want. That sound. Ah. Mm-hmm. Our next one, Chuck.
Ha'uk.
Ha'uk. Ha'uk. Ha'uk.
Ha'uk.
Ha'uk.
Ha'uk.
Ha'uk. Here we have a phrase. Jachtul.
Chukwa ha'uk.
Chukwa ha'uk.
Chukwa ha'uk. Chukwa ha'uk.
Chukwa ha'uk.
Chukwa ha'uk.
Chukwa ha'uk.
Chukwa ha'uk. Okay, let's go into full screen to show how we say yes. Starting with Jachtul with the full face.
Beautiful face. Oh.
Eyebrows wave.
Ha.
Ha.
Ha. Ha.
It's a song as well.
That's yes. This is our last easy one with the English sounds. We got to go into full face again to show you how we say no.
Wick, wick.
Wick.
Wick. Wick. Wick. Wick.
Wick.
Wick.
Wick.
Wick. Or just do the silent thing and don't even say the word. So we included 3 phrases that have some non-English sounds here. So the English sound you're going to hear comes from the back. That's this Q you see here. The Q is like, comes from the back and you got to say it open mouth. So we'll start with Jachtul.
Oh, a chuck. Chuck.
A chuck.
Nahamias. A chuck. A chuck. A chuck.
A chuck.
A chuck.
A chuck.
A chuck.
A chuck.
Here, this next one, we have 2 non-English sounds. We heard the k for the Q, and now this one is like sla, sla. You've got to blow air out the sides while you're doing sort of an L placement with your tongue. Sla, sla. We'll start with Jacques too.
Chuck flick.
A chuck flick.
Nahamis. A chuck click.
Chuck flick.
Is it chuck flick or a chuck?
Nahamis, are you on mute? A chuck click.
You click the
Class Nahamis.
Yeah, chuck like we can get cloud.
Go get in the bathroom.
I'm sorry, I'm all mixed up here. I'm just right off. Sorry. So much things happened yesterday.
Just go on to next.
How does it say that? My name is Ukhlama? Ukhlas?
A chuck like.
Oh, klassisch. Oh, a chuck like. A chuck like.
A chuck cluck.
A chuck click.
Is she in the name now?
Our last one here. Uklas tupat. Uklas tupat. Situate Isha.
Class two parts. Class two part.
Wiki aita.
Class two pot.
Class two pot.
Class two part.
Class two pot.
Class two pot.
Uklas tupat. True. We have a hand up. Joe Martin. So we have a little bit of time reserved for questions, and we do want to send out those words to you. We'll just we'll be sending it out through the festival in the coming days. So questions, Joe Martin first, if he's around.
Joe's just stepped out for a call. He'll be back in just a minute.
All right.
Might have been a question in the chat, Jutska.
Oh yeah.
I think so. I think I saw something flash.
Somebody saying, how do you say it now? Is it my name is Uklas?
No, is it Charlie?
You don't say no.
We are talking over here. Oh, it's a direct message. It's okay.
Oh, okay.
We are talking over here over text. My mom, Jane McCarthy's name. Is it she will always have the position, or she will always have it with her? If it's the first one, then what position? If it's the second, then what will she always have with her?
I just knew Joe Tom's phenometry. I don't know the McCarthy's or where she got a name from.
Adeline held it.
That's what I mean. Adeline's father was from Hesquiaht and your mother was from Port Renfrew.
Yeah. Joey would know better.
No, not a minute.
Thank everybody for attending our session here today. And if you have any questions at all, we'll take text questions too on the chat.
How
What
long
about
is this
that man's
festival?
scribe? It looks like he's in the basement. The ceiling is white. Looks real handsome.
Oh.
Smiling now.
Robin?
My husband, Robin.
That's who you're talking about. He's sitters, right? He's sitters.
Tush e Jacob.
Oh, sure.
Oh, we do have a question here. Valine's asking, what again is the gender neutral way to introduce yourself? Go ahead, Aqsa.
That's I'm from.
That's for the introduction, nuučaan.
Yeah.
It's the one that we went through together with gender neutral.
Oh.
What?
True. So we're hearing two responses. There's a histaqshits, I come from, and histatas, I am from this tribe. And then you say the name of the tribe, hey? So the histatas and histaqshits. I'll write them both in the chat. Histaqshits, heshquiaht, histaqshits, heshquiaht, and histatas, heshquiaht.
I used Tanas. Some can't pronounce it. Forgive me.
No.
I use.
Two. وأمهك جسمه وأمهك تتقنك.
شو؟ وأمهك.
شو؟
شو؟ سياق جسمه. أنا همسسيش تكوا يشوكت سو إذا شتلقاي نعاتحنيوا. تلت إيد سوس هو حتى شتل بعثا خاصة إيات وك هو تخياتل نتحكيات هو أسنش تلسي بياسي مختي وكاش ناس أتقشتني سوتل تحوي ناسي وأشوكي ناس حي يقيات هاهو تكشل تب محتاب تلاكو هشب تسلموا عيش شو what?
Ooh. Thank you, Chisma, for those beautiful words. We are all wrapped up in our presentation, and thank you so much. We do have a website that we put our free resources on. It's hesquiahtlanguage.org, and any curious people who want to download some, hesquiahtlanguage.org, and we're also on firstvoices.com. You'll hear some of these elders from tonight saying words on there with the writing system as well. Firstvoices.com under the Hesquiaht archive. George?
George.
Church. Good to see everybody. Everyone keep safe.
Everyone practicing, yes.
With your eyebrows, use your eyebrows.
I think everyone should maybe try to unmute for a second and practice their ha before we go.
Show us now.
I was asking Adam, do you know
Isn't that high?
They're biting you.
Wiki Wawa Marika.
Very much. Kleko, and thank you to all the elders and other language apprentices. This recording, as mentioned, will be made available about a week or so after. If you subscribe to the newsletter for the Carving Festival, it will come up through there, I believe. And we hope to see you for the rest of the festival weekend. Starting with a workshop tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on Zoom here again. Introduction to wood carving with hand tools, Robinson Cook. That's 10 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you all so much for joining and being here, and thank you for your good words and your teaching and your humor and playfulness. It's much appreciated in these good, hard days. Anything you'd like to say, Joe?
Uncle Phil, you have to come visit my shop one day. I bought a beer.
Oh, Joe.
What about us?
How do you say single woman? No, how do you say it? I'm not saying anything. I just want to know how I forget.
Adeline, any other things to mention? Or we're good? Then reconvene tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yeah, that's everything. Thank you. Everyone get some good rest. And yeah, we have 4 different films tomorrow, 2 different live events. Thank you, Chutska, and everyone else for sharing all your wisdom tonight.
Thank you. Good evening.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Keep carving.
True.
I did not